front.
Well, good morning all, welcome there. It's our last meeting, this type of meeting for this year, as you all know. And coming attractions report. If you're a delegate to alternates, you'll receive an invitation to our breakfast. And we'll be glad to have you next coming. Are you hear me now? Yeah. All right. I'm getting old, you know. What I'm saying is that this is the last meeting for this part of the year. Because next month is our breakfast, and invitations will be going out. And so if you're a delegate or an alternate, you will be invited to come have breakfast with us at Glen Eagles. And now we're going to salute the flag. Everybody, please rise and we'll salute our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Arnie, introduce the guest please.
Morning, everybody. I'll introduce our guest today, and please hold any applause until we're done. Thank you. Kelvin Ellington, Palm Beach Water Utility. Renisha Williams, Palm Beach How about this? Palm Beach County Water Utilities. Lieutenant Morales, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. Kenny Rampersad, Palm Beach County Water Utility. Dana Ackerman White, Dave Kerner's office, Commissioner Kerner's office, Vice Mayor Kerner's office, Terry Mitzi, Representative Polsky's office. Jenny Caesar, Congresswoman Lois Franco's office. Sarah, also from GL Homes. Ed Saul, Emily Schlossberg's office. Howie Zimmerman, Property Appraiser's office. Harry Rauscher, Lake Worth Drainage District. Linda Cherry, Representative Emily Schlossberg's office. Good shape. Diana Johnson, Clerk and Controller's office. Gabriela Ferraro, Palm Beach County Tax Collector's office. And last but not least, Laura Corey, South Florida Water Management District. Thank you all for being here, and I wish you all a good summer.
Well, thank you much. As you see, we have, as usual, a busy day. Just chock full of good information that you can take back to your community. With that, I'm going to call on our Captain Sand to come up and give you, hopefully, a good report. Come on, Captain.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
What happened? Did I,
Good morning.
Good morning.
you guys mad at me already? I usually get a nice round of applause coming up. Makes me feel good.
You only last about a year here, you know.
Yeah,
I'm telling you no one.
I'm at that year. I got some good news for you, though. Let me put these glasses on so you can read all about it. All right. Seriously, I hope everybody's doing very well. I'm very happy to see you guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. I got some very interesting news for you. You remember all the cases I've told you about with the fraud?
Yeah.
With the scams with the ATMs? You're killing me. How about now? I'm going to be eating this in a minute. Hold on. But we've made some really significant arrests in the Golden Years cases. The scams. Hold your foot. Let me give you normally I don't like to bore you with stats and figures, but I have to tell you about this. Okay, we made 2 counts of residential burglary arrests, 18 counts of grand theft, 19 counts of fraud, that's using fraudulent identifications to obtain the credit cards, and 4 counts of individual stolen credit cards. I'm happy to announce to you that we've really got into the infrastructure. We believe we got into the infrastructure of the body of this criminal organization. With that, please be mindful, there are splinter groups still operating, all right? Don't let your guard down. You guys know, you guys have been around for a long time, you know the story. Where one group ends, sometimes another begins. All right, so please, let's not bask in our glory. I wanted to give you the updates on how well we're doing, but let's continue to be vigilant. All right. Like Bob said, I'm finishing my first year as your commander, and I've enjoyed every minute of it. I hope you guys feel the same way. We've made a lot of strides together. We've accomplished so much together. And let me just give you a couple more stats that I'm very proud of. And it's just not me, ladies and gentlemen. It's these men and women, your deputies out there, that do an incredible job every day. I'm just the spokesman that's up here taking either the heat or the glory for them. Okay? Let me tell you where we're at. The 3 top tier crimes we deal with in West Delray Beach is residential burglaries, vehicle burglaries, and larcenies. That's to incorporate fraud. Year to date, for my first year being here, and listen, I don't want to live and die by numbers because you can get in trouble that way. But I will tell you this. We are down year to date on residential burglaries, 48%. Wow. Year to date. Clap. I'm proud. I'm happy. We are down 7% on the thefts or larceny cases. We are down 16% on stolen vehicles, and we are down 16% again on vandalism cases. The interesting part about this is that since I've taken command and implemented some new initiatives in the district, we've upped our traffic stops, our self-initiated engagement out there, which suppresses, I'm telling you, suppresses the criminal activity. We upped it, we're up 173% on our contacts and stops out there. Let me put it to you in real numbers before you really recognize this. We went from 948 stops, this is just patrol. We went from 948 proactive stops out there to over 2,592 stops. And that's the great work of these men and women out there. And I don't mean stops as in traffic citations and so forth. That means your deputies, our deputies are out there stopping people, making contact, displacing crime. Criminals that come through your neighborhood see the blue lights, they see the cops engaged, and they realize it's time to go. We have to go someplace else because these cops are coming to work tonight. All right, so please feel safe in that we're doing a great job. The guys out there and the girls out there are doing incredible. Last but not least, I want to introduce my new executive officer, Lieutenant Mike Morales, who's back there. He's going to be he's already proven to be a great addition to the command. And if the rest of you guys remember Lieutenant Morris, Chuck Morris? Yeah. Well, after 36 years, I'm pleased to announce that I finally got him convinced to leave, go retire. Have a good time. You got to give the young guys a shot at this. All right? I'll see you all in June. It's been a great year, and thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Captain. Well, let's see now. Well, we have a triple header here. We have Chief Hude, Sheen Erickson, and Lance Berkowitz. You guys all come up here. They got a guy go in during the middle of the night when you need him most. Come on up here. There you go, Chief.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to see you all. I have some news for you. We, as most of you know, that we have a new administrator in fire rescue, and that is Chief Duran. He came from Riviera Beach. He was the chief of fire rescue over there. He is now our chief, and we're very proud of that. And he is setting exemplary example of professionalism, integrity, and his vision is something that we're all very excited about moving forward. Part of the changes that he has made is that he has seen the quality of people that they bring here to Battalion 4, and he has asked me to be his Deputy Chief of Administration. Hey. So, it's bittersweet. I love his vision, and I look forward to working with him. However, I'm saddened by leaving you all, and I really have enjoyed my time here, and I thank you so much for all the support that you have shown me. We're diligently working right now to find you another qualified and person that can lead you guys into that partnership that we've begun, and we want to continue with your group. in hurricane preparation and any other ways that we can support y'all. So again, I want to thank you for everything that you've done with me and for me while I've been here, and I look forward to serving Palm Beach County in a different capacity. Thank you.
Did the baby go with you? She had a new baby. Okay, see?
Good morning. Just wanted to talk briefly about upcoming hurricane season, as Chief mentioned also, but I want to talk in specifics about hurricane shelters. Palm Beach County, as you know, maintains hurricane shelters, but it is recommended that if at all possible, if a hurricane is coming and you happen to be here and not have gone back up north, you shelter in place. That is the best thing to do. There's a limited capacity to the shelters, to the hurricane shelters in Palm Beach County. So it is best to shelter at your home if at all possible. If you find that your home is not able to be secured, then certainly go to a shelter. Here, the nearest shelter is Atlantic High School on West Atlantic Boulevard. The reason that we suggest that you shelter at home is because you're more comfortable there typically, and you're more familiar with your surroundings. But if you need to go to a shelter, a couple things to remember. They will now, starting this year, have CNAs, Certified Nursing Assistants, at all these shelters, which is a change from in previous years. So that is a little bit of comfort to a lot of people, knowing that there will be some sort of medical staff beyond just fire rescue on scene at those shelters. Also, please keep in mind, no pets at the shelters. No matter how dear your pets are to you, pets are not allowed. Service animals are allowed, but if you bring a service animal, you will need to make sure that you have documentation that they are a service animal. They have to have documentation of their shots that are current. They cannot just let in your service peacocks, your anacondas, your iguanas, that sort of thing. It has to be a service dog, actually, okay? Special needs shelter is out at the Palm Beach, at the South Florida Fairgrounds out there. And special needs is strictly for people who have special medical needs. And you must pre-register for that. You can't just show up at the special needs shelter and expect to be admitted. You have to pre-register, and I will have that number for you in a second here. Part of the criteria for that is if you depend on oxygen throughout the day, if you have electrical medical devices that will not function if you lose power at your home, if you have a full-time caregiver, and if you or a loved one have Alzheimer's or advanced dementia, then those are part of the criteria which will allow you to apply for the special needs shelter. So write this down if you can. There is the website for you to get all the information, and it's called readypbc.com. readypbc.com, and that has all the information on there as far as what to do and how to prepare for a hurricane, and gives you the link also for the hurricane shelter advice. The number is 712-6400. That's 712-6400. That is for more information about hurricane preparation and especially the hurricane shelters. They also have an outreach coordinator at Emergency Management that will come out and speak to either a group large like this or an individual HOA. So you can reach them at the same number. That way they can have a direct contact with someone to give you information. Okay, so that's it for a hurricane. Now also, we have Lance Berkowitz up here, and we want to discuss the pet stickers that Palm Beach County Fire Rescue is rolling out. Lance has a bunch of those with him, as does Dr. Lori. This is for those of you who have your pets at home and you want to advise us when we respond to your home in the case of an emergency, whether you have cats or dogs or both, and there's a space on here where you put how many you have. And of course, when we respond, if it's a small kitchen fire, a large house fire, whatever the case may be, we will do our absolute very best to save your pets as well. Obviously, human life comes first, but we will do everything we possibly can to save your pets. And if we have this information with this sticker on the door, where we can see it as we go in, that will help us do that. Okay? Lance, you have anything you want to add to that?
Thank you very much. Let me ask you, how many people in this room have dogs or cats at home? Okay. That shows us how many dog lovers, cat lovers we have in Palm Beach County. According to statistics, we have almost 330,000 pets living in homes in the county. That's why we're starting a pet safety program throughout the county. We're hoping to distribute as many as 200,000 of these stickers throughout the county. And let me tell you, it is so important that we also be involved with our pet programs, but not only pet programs, our animal control and other locations throughout the county where we have, during emergencies, we'll be able to take care of animals as well. So I'm going to be here. I have cards for you folks. I'm going to be here to be able to distribute these stickers. I have a bunch now, but we will be having as many as 50,000 available to this area. So people, if you want to just come up to me, I can give you a card if you represent your community, and we'll be happy to make the distribution. Thank you.
Thank you all. Liaison, Leslie, come on, Leslie.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Sheriff Bradshaw had planned to be with us this morning, but some unintended issues have come up that he needs to take care of. So he's asked me to deliver a message to everybody, a very brief message. We want everybody to know that Sheriff Bradshaw, your deputies, Captain Sam, Lieutenant Morales, PBSO, the entire agency is constantly monitoring, bold, underline, constantly monitoring everything that goes on in the county and every house of worship. A synagogue, a church, a mosque, if you pray in a playground, if you have a group meeting in somebody's home, everything is being monitored. You may not see us there, you may not think that we are aware of it. We are. I also want to emphasize that you've heard this a bajillion times, if you see something, say something. And it has everything to do with everything. Do not hesitate to call PBSO, whatever you think you see. Let us worry about it. Nothing is too small or nothing is too insignificant. So again, I want to tell you that Sheriff Bradshaw will be at the annual luncheon, the annual breakfast in June. Please feel free to come up and say hello. And I want everybody to relax, to have a good time. Keep on doing what you're doing, and we'll see you soon. And thank you very much. Everybody stay well.
Dr. Laurie has some very important information. We're going to fill it in here and be sure you get it before you leave. Laurie?
Okay. President Bob and everybody, yes, lots of things are happening here. We have the timeline for the Atlantic Avenue expansion is right here, and starting this June, there will be those, they're going to be working on those 2 north lanes that will be going onto the turnpike to make it a little bit faster. That we do have a letter in here from the engineering to the Alliance explaining that that will be starting in June. And of course, the Alliance always proactive to make our roads safer. Over the past 2 years, we've been working on a curriculum, discussion points, a manual on a mature driver safety course. And we have that now. It's approved by the state of Florida. We have the approval right here. And we will be bringing those into your communities if you'd like them. There's the flyer here. You can bring it back to your communities and let us know if you'd like us to bring it into clubhouses. But for our membership, for those 3 expos that we're going to be having next year, in October and 2 in February, we'll be having 3 classes open, an open class each time there, and it's 40 attendees, and this is going to be a discounted rate for our Alliance members. We know about the Terra Nova project was postponed. More will be coming in the next few months. There's lots of things that can happen. It's moving parts to that. And one thing that we've done, this just happened, you know, the clearing over by the Turnpike and Atlantic Avenue. Well, one of our communities, Tuscany, had a little issue with their view now from their entrance when they exit. So the Alliance worked on this very hard over the last couple of months since that happened. And they will be getting the developer who had the developer did not have to do this for them, the developer that built the development, Tuscany, but they did perform the clearing because they do have to give that over to the county because it's going to be a civic site. But because the view is affected, the developer is going to go in there and give them some trees to make their view much better and help the sound. And it all depends on, the reason why it was never done on the original site plan is because really nothing was supposed to be planted there because it was a Lake Worth Drainage District easement. So, but the developer's working with Lake Worth Drainage District to try to get a permit so that they'll have a much better view from their front entrance. So that's one major thing that happened in the past month, and Tuscany is very happy about that and thankful. And just one other thing about our June breakfast, you do need a gate pass, so you will be getting invitations in the mail this week. And it's for delegates, alternates, presidents, and our elected officials and VIPs from the county.
That is all very important information, and we want to make sure you got it. Karen Bill, are you going to come up here?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Greetings from your school board. I have to tell you that yesterday was a throwback to the 60s and 70s, and yes, I was around then. We were protesting. We had a rally at the Supervisor of Elections office. Over 300 of your teachers were out there with your elected officials, the Mayor, Mac Bernard, some of the county commissioners, and your school board members. Why were we there? It's because right now, today, the Senate is voting on House Bill 7123. House Bill 7123 would reverse the language that you voted for when you voted for the referendum here in Palm Beach County. 72% of you voted for unambiguous language to provide money for arts, music, PE, for security, for mental health, and for a bonus for our teachers, a retention. We had a schedule for the teachers. And the language said for non-charter public schools, right? So over 72% of our voters said yes. But now the legislature, in a Machiavellian attempt, is trying to say we have to go back retroactively and now share that money. So it's insane. And they want us to share it with the charter schools. Okay, so that means $20 million out of our budget if it were to pass. So I'm here today to tell you that we are standing firm. We are going to fight because this isn't about whether you support charter schools or you don't. It's about your vote. It's about what you voted for on that ballot, and no one has the right to take away your voice. So I just wanted to share that with you today and let you know that regardless of the outcome, I am very hopeful though. I got a message last night that the 12 senators that are voting today got over 40,000 letters and phone calls. So I want to thank all of you. You know, Palm Beach County, we are great. We are the greatest school district and greatest county in the state, and we are going to fight for your voice. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. It's good information.
And Karen, everybody did receive that by email over the last 2 days here, and all the information from the school district, and we were asked, we gave them all the contact information to write and all. That's why you got so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. Wendy Ling, our new supervisor of election. Wendy, up here and meet you.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. I wanted to just take a moment to say hello, introduce myself, and let you know a couple of the things that we're trying to do at the supervisor's office. You've probably heard that we've got new equipment on the way. The old equipment has actually left the building. The new equipment is starting to bring in trucks. We have 975 new scanners that'll be at each of the precincts. We've got 525 machines that are ADA accessible. We've got 10 of the high-speed optical scanners that can actually they can count more than one race at a time if we're in a recount situation. So I think with the new equipment, the new technology we've got going, we're on our way. We're making a lot of changes in our office as well. You'll hear what we talk about within the office, and we try to have it guide everything we do is integrity, accountability, and service. And so we want to make you all aware that we're going to use those as our guiding principles. We want to be very open, very transparent. Anything that you want to see, we want to invite you in. We're going to have an open house in October as soon as we have our equipment all up and loaded and ready to go and approved by the state. And we'll invite you all to that. We're going to have that at the warehouse so we can walk everybody through the process. You know, from registering to vote, whether you want to do vote by mail, when it comes in, how do we check the signatures, what process does that follow, at what point do we open the ballots, if there's any questions about the ballots, the canvassing, as you probably heard, vote by mail and early voting are increasing. Precinct day is decreasing, although it is still, our election day is still our #1 place that we get votes, but the trends are going this way. So we're going to try to get as much information out to the public as we can do and answer any questions that you all have. The big thing that we're doing right now is with new technology, we're going to have a big need for new poll workers. And we have put in our budget request, I know Commissioner Berger's here, that we have an increase for, request for increase for pay for poll workers. And we'll hopefully be unveiling that soon. And it is a long day, but it's a really good day. And we will do the training for you, teach you our new equipment. We also have a new voter registration system that will show you, again, it should make it easier to check people in. It's a more secure system than we currently have. And so we are doing that conversion as well. So we're in great need for very good poll workers. And so we'd like to ask you to think about it yourselves. You can go on our website. I have some material that I'll have to let people know how to sign up for it. And if you could let your neighbors know, again, it's something that we would love to have as many people as we can there. And really, we tell everybody, poll workers are the face of the elections office on election day. I've got 52 people working in an office. We have a huge county. So whether somebody has a good voting experience or bad voting experience is largely based on who they're interacting with on election day, and that's our poll workers. So we know how important they are, and it's our big focus for the year, so we'd ask you to think about doing that. And any questions, we're available. We'll speak to anybody who wants to hear from us. Thanks so much.
Our Commissioner, Mary Lou Berger. Come on, Mary Lou. You have good news for us also.
Thank you, Bob. Good morning, Alliance. Good morning. Oh, that was good. I don't think I have to do that a second time this morning. Thank you to the peanut gallery back there. If you'll notice over at the aides table, where most of the people who work for elected officials, Megan is not there. She sends her best. She is sick. Her daughter's sick. Her little boy's sick. Her husband was in the hospital. So she's having a rough time right now, but things are up on the upswing. We miss her at the office. We haven't seen her since last Thursday. But she does send her best and says that she will be with us next month. So I just wanted to let you know that. I also, I like the program that we're having today. I think that's really great, and we should all learn something from that. And with that, I want to introduce one of our county people. She's the director of our Environmental Resources Management Department. This is Miss Deborah Drum. She's been with the county not a long time, but she has proven that she really knows what she's doing. She also sits on the Tourist Development Council with me. I chair that, and Deborah comes to those meetings. Being an environmentalist, that's important for tourism. We want to make sure we have good places for people to come and enjoy, and we want to make sure that they're safe. So Deborah keeps us in line with that at the tourism level. And with that, you have a long program. There's been a lot of speakers, and I don't think I'm forgetting anything, but we're all old, right? And we forget stuff. But I'll get off now and let the program go on, and I will see you next month. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner Marilou. And last but not least, is our sponsor this morning at breakfast, Central State Bank. Somebody here had a couple of, I think they're giving away a whole bunch of money, right? Well, at least they gave us bagels and cream cheese and coffee. There you go.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Marty Baden. I'm the Vice President for Association Services at Center State Bank. And I'd like to say a special welcome and thank you to our police, our fire, and our veterans here in the audience today. We are a full-service bank. We're local in Boca and Delray. If you don't remember or recognize the name Center State, we used to be First Southern Bank and Gulfstream Business Bank. We were acquired in 2014. We have homeowner association services, loans, we have credit card availability, and we have a variety of different retail products for the individuals. Of special interest, I think, for you today would be if you're having a special assessment in your associations and people are short for money, we do have home equity lines, which are not abusive. And we also have community hero programs, especially for the younger officers, firefighters, military people who might be just getting started for credit cards, free checking accounts, and things like that. We are a longtime supporter of the Delray Alliance. We've always participated in this since we found out about it probably 15 years ago. So thank you for your attention, and thank you for letting us be here today. Thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Central State Bank. And now, with the beginning of our interesting program today, Dr. Laurie will announce them.
Okay, I got this. You can take that. Okay, this is really a terrific way to end our fiscal year, even though we're going to have the breakfast, and that's going to be really great because we'll be having information on the future of oncology services at Delray Medical Center. We really are on the cutting edge of that. That'll be in June. But this is a particular interest all about soil and water conservation. These two professors have come to us from ERIC, Everglades Research and Education Center. That's part of IFAS, which is the Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences with the University of Florida. This is the creme de la creme of this whole topic of preserving soil and water. We brought them here for you today. To follow will be Deborah Drum from ERM, that's our own Palm Beach County Environmental Resources Management, and then we'll hear a little something about the water department and our new meters. We're going to have a 20-minute presentation from our professors to be followed by about 5 minutes from ERM introducing themselves, and we'll hear more from them next year. And then we'll hear something from the water utilities. So to start out, we have Dr. Greg Nussle, professor, and he's the center's director. He's going to be telling us all about the center, and then he'll be followed by Dr. Django Bada, assistant professor of soil and water sciences. Professor.
Thank you, Laurie, and thank you for the invitation. I had no idea what a great organization this is of all these different communities in this area. This is wonderful to see this many people taking an action in their own communities. Oh, okay, I can hear myself really good. You guys can't hear me? I'm sorry. I know how it is. I wear hearing aids myself. Too much time driving tractors and that sort of thing in the field. I'm the director of the Everglades Research and Education Center, as Laurie indicated. Thank you for the introduction. The University of Florida has several research stations all around the state. I don't think I have a pointer here, but The little dash line goes out to the Everglades Research and Education Center where we're located just on the east side of Belle Glade, which is west of here about 35, 40 miles. Out in the middle of the agricultural area of the state, of the southern part of the state. As you all know, the area that we're in right now, 40 years ago, was all covered with vegetable farms, mostly. And 30 years ago, if you go a little bit further west of here, it was still covered with vegetable farms. So this area has been an agricultural area, and it still is. Palm Beach County is the leading agricultural producer east of the Mississippi River. Believe it or not, still on a county-wide basis, we still have the highest output of any county east of the Mississippi River. Each of the research stations that the University of Florida has focuses on different things. Of course, the research center out in Belle Glade, we focus on the crops that are mostly produced out there. And I'm going to go over that really shortly, and then I'm going to turn the program over to Dr. Bada, who is one of our soil and water scientists, to talk to you about the main idea of the program. The mission of the research center out there, just like every kind of organization or business, you have a mission, and it's to conduct research and extension programs. Extension means taking what we figure out in research and make it applicable to you all and how you can use it, and to companies. In southern Florida, that will explore and promote profitable and sustainable agricultural systems. So sustainable in this way means not only financially, but also ecologically for the long-term conservation and use of the area. And they should preserve and conserve our soil and water and natural resources and contribute to the improved quality of life for all Florida citizens. And we take this mission and these goals very strongly in all of the different programs that we have. Because of where we're located, and we grow over 400,000 acres of sugarcane, if you didn't know what that number was, there's a lot of sugarcane out there west of us. We do a lot of research in this area, not only in the breeding, but also figuring out better ways to grow it on the soil that's staying wetter and wetter these days, shallower soil. Dr. Bada will get into different parts of that. That takes different kinds of sugarcane. Agriculture is not static. Those of you that may have a history in agriculture know this. Things change all the time. Not only is the weather changing, the soil is changing, our insects and diseases are constantly changing. So we can't just come out with one new variety and we're done. We're constantly developing new varieties of things that can do better in the changing environment and to produce better yielding crops. Rice is another big production crop in our area. We grow about 30,000 acres of rice, including about 3,000 acres of organic rice out in the Everglades agricultural area. And we have several faculty, 6 actually, at our center that work on rice production. So our major program focuses in the area of our soil and water science with Dr. Darub and Dr. Bada. We have sugarcane fertility studies working with Dr. Mabry McCrae, who works on developing new priorities for fertilizers, reducing the amount of fertilizers that are needed as the soils change and as the crops change, making recommendations for them to use those. We have both sweet corn and field corn breeder with Robert Berriger up in the upper left corner, and Dr. Herman Sandoya, one of our newest faculty, up in the upper right corner, working on different lettuces. And again, these things change all the time. You may not know it, but a new variety of lettuce is needed for you all about every 3 or 4 years because your tastes change and the marketing changes. And so it takes about 10 years to come out with a new variety of anything. That's how long it takes to get it through the pipeline and marketed. So it's an awful lot of advanced planning that goes into that. We have 2 entomologists besides myself. I'm an entomologist by training. Dr. Julian Buzelin up in the upper left corner, and right below him, Dr. Ron Cherry, entomologist working on different types of pest management, biological control, using insect-resistant plants, for example. We have 2 plant pathologists, Dr. Richard Raid up in the upper right corner, and Dr. Philippe Rott in the center, working on different diseases. I often say that southern Florida particularly is a place where rust never sleeps. But rust isn't just a thing that eats at your car and the flashings on your house, but there's rust category of diseases that also look like rust. That's why they're called rust. But rust never sleeps in southern Florida either. It's constantly growing and constantly attacking our plants, and so there's a lot of work that goes into that. Our weed scientist, Dr. Calvin Odero, in the upper left-hand corner, spraying a field. That's the other thing. Any of you who ever tried to grow lettuce or radishes or anything that's in the ground, you'll know that the weeds will cover it up faster than the plant can grow. And so weed control is really a very critical aspect of crop management in southern Florida. And last is the rodent control using barn owls. This is another program with Dr. Raid in the lower right corner in this case, working using on barn owls. If everybody drives out there, you're going to see these big rectangular shaped boxes on top of 4x4 poles. We have over 300 of them out in the glades, and every single one of them is occupied by a breeding pair of barn owls. And each one of those breeding pairs, for each clutch of eggs that they produce, can go through up to 3,000 rodents. So you start doing the math, you're going through 1 million rodents every time you have a new batch of babies coming out. It's just amazing. Anyway, so this is just I'm sorry, it's a very short introduction, but just to give you an idea of what we do out there at the farm, at our research station. You can get my information from Lori, but we are always available for tours to talk about specific topics, to give you an idea of what we're doing so you can see it firsthand. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Django Bada, who has been working in soil and water sciences for over 10 years as a PhD student as well as postdoctorate and a research fellow at our research station before he became an assistant professor at our station. Django?
Thank you, Greg. And good morning, everyone. I'm Django Bada, Assistant Professor, Soil, Water, and Nutrient Management at the University of Florida. I'm based at the Research Center in Belle Glade, so we are pretty much neighbors. Feel free to pop in and visit us anytime. Today I'm going to touch briefly on the topic of conserving and protecting our soil and water. And how it is related with agriculture and agronomy. I strongly believe that the future of sustainable agriculture depends on 3 components: soil conservation, soil sustainability, water conservation, water quality, and ultimately nutrient management. These are the 3 cornerstones of sustainable agriculture, regardless whether it's in South Florida or nationally or globally. Why is soil sustainability, soil conservation so important? Because approximately annually, we are losing about 24 billion tons of the topsoil globally. And that's a lot of soil. That's a lot of land mass that can be used for farming, producing food and agriculture. Just in the United States, approximately 1.7 billion tons of soil is lost annually. So that's a lot of soil, like I said, that is losing. How do we lose it? 3 major components. Wind erosion is the first reason. As the soils get dry in the summertime, you got a blow of wind and your topsoil is lost. You've got runoff, excess water, storm, hurricanes, and that can cause runoff and you have your topsoil losing as well. And thirdly, you have another concept which is soil loss via oxidation or subsidence. And this is common to the region where we work in Belle Glade because our soils are highly organic, muck soils as we call them. They have a very high organic matter content and we are losing that soil to oxidation, to the atmosphere as CO2. So we need to be aware and conserve these soils. A little background about the Everglades agricultural area. The Everglades agricultural area is just south of Lake Okeechobee. It's that region in the green, and it's approximately 280,000 hectares of organic soils, and 80% of that is used for sugarcane. The topography is very flat with an underlying lime rock, calcium carbonate, just below it. Soils in this region have been actively drained because they were used for farming for over 100 years. And the water leaving the Everglades agricultural area is routed through the STAs, which are wetlands that improve the water quality and remove some of the phosphorus before it goes down to the water conservation area and then ultimately makes its way to the Florida Everglades. The soils in the region, as I mentioned, are highly organic. These are histosols. As you can see in the picture above, they are dark. They have a lot of organic matter content, upwards of 80% organic matter. So it's almost like compost. And underneath that soil, we have the lime rock. The lime rock has a very high pH. So our soils inherently have very high pH. And so we need to work on trying to bring that pH down of these soils. And one of the issues that we face, as I said, is soil loss via oxidation. If you look at that figure, the bottom figure, you see a concrete post. That concrete post was 9 foot in height, and it was inserted into the ground in 1924. Since then, we have lost about 6 feet of that soil to oxidation. And now we see the exposed post. We've got about 3 feet of soil remaining. So we need to start thinking about how we can conserve these soils, how we can continue farming in the region. In some areas, that soil is only about 6 inches deep. And we are farming on 6 inches of soil. The rate of oxidation is slowing down though. It's not what it used to be. So once we drained out the water from the soil, oxidized condition, we are losing that organic matter to the atmosphere. Folks have been documenting this loss, and there's an image from 1972 when that post was only exposed about chest high. Today, when I stand close to that post, it's taller than me. So we are losing this soil and we need to do something about it. What are some of the things that we are focusing on and doing to protect these soils, to conserve these soils? There is continued research on sandy soils and shallow muck. We have a lot of sandy soils around this region. We have sandy soils on the east of EAA, west, north, and even portions of South Florida, where there's a lot of sand. In fact, all of the state is sandy soils. So there's a lot of work going on sandy soils. Application of organic matter, organic soil amendments. What can we apply into the soil to improve soil quality that is easily available and doesn't need to go into the landfill? Items such as biochar, which is an organic material, organic feedstock that we can apply back onto our soils. We can do crop rotations, and one of the good crop rotation in the region is rice, because rice is a flooded crop, and when you flood those soils, or you keep them inundated or saturated, you slow down that rate of oxidation. You do not allow that carbon to go into the atmosphere as CO2. So just to kind of show what type of research we do in the real world, applied work, that picture on top is a big pile of a soil amendment called bagasse. Maybe some of y'all have heard about bagasse. It's an organic byproduct from the sugarcane milling process. And we have piles and piles and piles of that organic matter piling up every year, which could ultimately go into the landfill. But we decided to look into that material, apply it back onto the soil to see if it can be used as a farming organic amendment. So this is the type of properties that we evaluate: the bulk density, the pH, the nutrient content. And then from a commercial level, we apply it back onto the fields with the applicators on sandy soils. And then we hope we can grow sweet corn or lettuces or sugarcane right there. So we are closing that loop. We are using that organic waste from farming, applying it back into the field and growing crops. Biochar, I mentioned biochar. Maybe some of you all are aware of this product or not. It's a very slow reactive product. Once you burn an organic material to a certain temperature, you create a charcoal-like matter which is very slowly decomposing. You can apply it back into the field and you can get some agronomic benefits of using biochar. That's another area that we are researching. And then, as we had mentioned earlier, benefits of growing flooded rice in the region. Rice has been grown in the region since 1970s as a cover crop in the summertime. Almost 50,000 acres of land is fallow in the summertime. It gets very hot in the area. You really can't grow a lot of leafy vegetables or sweet corn. So what do we do with that land? We flood it and we grow rice. So in that area, the benefits that rice provides is that it reduces that subsidence of the soil. It also kills some of the soil pests once you flood the fields, and also it reduces nutrient depletion. And you see that graph there of rice acreage, that red line. It has been on the up since 2008. And as of last summer, it was 28,000 acres of rice that was planted there. So rice seems to be doing really well, and it's a real good cover crop coming into the region. As far as drainage and water management in the region, one thing to keep in mind, it is bottom up. All the water that is used is not through irrigation boom lines in the Everglades agriculture area. It's connected via canals and drainage ditches that brings the water into the farmland, and then when you want to drain the farmland, you open the canals and you drain the water out the farm fields. So water is all connected via drainage ditches, and that is all overseen by the South Florida Water Management District. Just to give you a small little tidbit about how to conserve water, how to retain water, and how to have a healthy soil in the system. Keep in mind that about 1% increase in organic matter can result in up to 20,000 gallons of available soil water per acre. So if you can increase your soil organic matter by 1% over an acre patch, you can actually conserve 20,000 gallons of water in that acre patch. So the question is, what can we do to increase that organic matter content? What can growers do to increase that organic matter in the soil? Cover cropping. Applying a cover crop seems to be working, especially in the fallow period. Instead of leaving your soils open, exposed to the atmosphere in the summertime, apply a cover crop in the region and reap its benefits when you plant your cash crop. So we were funded by USDA Southern SARE Sustainable Agriculture and Research Education Program to do a 2-year study to evaluate the concept of cover cropping, see how the different cover crops in the region can be used in farming to increase organic matter content. So the map of Florida, we have 9 collaborators across the state, as north as Defuniak Springs, and then further down south in Clewiston as well. And we are trying to increase this number, trying to get more and more growers involved with cover cropping to increase organic matter in their soils. What are some of the cover crops? Sun hemp, it's a legume. You've got cowpea, that's a legume. It fixes a lot of nitrogen. It generates a lot of biomass that can be used, a lot of benefits of those 2 cover crops. And ultimately, I'm going to end with this slide. And the bottom line is that communication and involvement with growers and the general public has been the key to our success. And so coming here, communicating with you guys is a big input in our success. So with that, thank you all very much, and I'll be around if you have any questions.
Wow, that's so terrific. And you know, just the audience you're talking to, we understood that. It was an excellent, excellent presentation. Scientific yet understandable. Thank you so much. This is a great thing. Maybe we can have some tours out there. Yeah, we'll work on that. And we have, for all our speakers today, this is something new, our branded Alliance mug. All of our very special, so when you have your morning coffee, you'll think of the Alliance. And we'll be giving those out to all our speakers in the future. Thank you. You take your time to come here. We really thank you for that. A few minutes here on bringing it back to Palm Beach County. our Environmental Resources Management. And that is a county office, and we have Deborah Drum here to explain a little something about ERM, and then in the coming fiscal year, we'll have another program, and we'll have ERM more in depth, but we want to introduce you to ERM in case you don't know it. And as a matter of fact, next year we're having, on February 7th, 2020, it's on your list that we had given out last month, we're having Get to Know Palm Beach County Day. and it's going to be really spectacular. First time I know of any civic organization doing this. All sorts of offices, you're from to Solid Waste Authority to the Tourist Council to the all sorts of government offices will be here, and in one room, and it'll be a one-stop shop to learn all about Palm Beach County. It's going to be a terrific event, and is going to be part of that. Here we have Deborah Drum.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I have to say, the event that Lori just described, we're very excited about participating in February. There's going to be a whole forum where you really get to know all of your Palm Beach County offices and departments and how we serve each of our residents and our different areas of expertise and interest. So we're very excited about participating in that and appreciate the invitation to participate in that as well as being here this morning. I was asked just to give you a few minutes with the promise that I'll be able to come back in the future and address some issues that are of specific interest to you. But I did want to just come and represent the Palm Beach County Environmental Resources Department this morning to go over just a quick overview of who we are, to let those of you who might not have known that you had an Environmental Resources Management Department, let you know that we are here and serving the community in important ways that do coincide with the previous speakers on soil and water conservation, and we do so at an ecosystem level, looking at all of the different habitat types from Lake Okeechobee to the ocean. So with that, our mission is to protect, preserve, and enhance Palm Beach County's land and water resources. You might have heard of the Loxahatchee River or coral reefs or Lake Worth Lagoon, Lake Okeechobee. Those are all areas that we focus on preserving and protecting environmental resources throughout the county. We are organized in a couple of different divisions, and I do have staff here. I'm going to ask to recognize them in the audience today from our Resources Protection Group. We have Bonnie Finneran, John Reiser, and Bob Krause. If you guys could wave and let everyone know that you're here. The Resources Protection Group is on the far right of this chart, and this is the group that's charged with protecting drinking water supplies throughout, or drinking water quality throughout the county through the Petroleum Storage Tank Compliance Program, and they also do site plan reviews for environmental resources, surface water protection. If there's gas stations that are going in to be permitted, they oversee the installation of those storage tanks to make sure that they're done in compliance with state statute and to other rules and regulatory requirements, as well as if there's old gas station areas or petroleum tank sites that have been contaminated and need to be cleaned up for future, to make sure that the future water quality is protected. That's what that group focuses on. It's not an easy job. They're out interfacing with the public and with business owners every single day, and we do so in a strong partnership with the state of Florida on this. also oversees mosquito control. So all the Zika issues or St. Louis encephalitis and a lot of the mosquito-borne illnesses, we have people out every single day tracking these issues to keep our residents safe. Our Natural Resources Stewardship Division oversees 32,000 acres of conservation lands throughout Palm Beach County. The county has been very proactive in the protection of green space, and we've also expanded that program to provide a lot of public access, and we have free programs. I encourage you to go on our website, at the Palm Beach County website, and look for our department. We have free programs to host all of you to go with a naturalist out to our natural areas and enjoy them through hiking, or we have everything from wildlife photography lessons to yoga in the natural areas to guided hikes, all kinds of butterfly hikes, bird watching. Whatever your interest is, I'm sure that we have something that would entice you to come out there and spend some time with us. Our Environmental Enhancement and Restoration section, that division focuses on the coral reefs, protection of coral reefs, and artificial reef installations. So whenever you see or vessels, old ships that we sink for artificial reef purposes off our coast, we've done a number of those to restore habitat in the marine environment. So again, my purpose today was to give you an overview of these items. I will be in a dialogue with Lori moving forward on what specific issues you might want me to come back and talk about, or I can get into more detail on some of the specific environmental work that we do. My contact information is on this slide, and of course, we would, like I said, we'll be happy to come back, and I'll be around afterwards if anyone has any specific questions. So thank you for letting me come introduce our department and myself, and I look forward to interfacing with all of you as we move forward. Thank you.
Great, thank you. And we do send your newsletter out, EARN's newsletter out, every time it comes to us. It goes to our membership. That's great. And there is so much to know about Palm Beach County, and this will definitely have to be a program in the future because there's so many things here that affect us all. And for just a little mention here about our smart meters, and a little introduction to our smart meters that we probably mostly have all had installed already, but a little bit how they work. From Sean Reed from the Palm Beach County Water Utilities Department. He's the man to go to for all the public information. And we're going to hear about smart meters. Thank you.
Good morning. So as Dr. Vinocour said here today, just give a little update on our smart meter program. What this program is we are removing some aging infrastructure and putting in new state-of-the-art infrastructure. For the program, there's actually 3 different areas that we are putting new equipment in. The first of those 3 is the actual meter itself, which you can see in the picture here. These meters are located in the meter box outside of your home, and it records the actual water usage that is happening on your property. Closely associated with that meter is what's known as the smart point. The smart point takes the reading from the meter and transmits it on to towers that are located throughout the county, which then in turn transmit it to our servers. The smart point, if you look in the picture, the black dot, the black circle, that is the actual smart meter, or excuse me, smart point. And then obviously the third one I've already mentioned is our FlexNet towers. We have 9 locations of these towers throughout the county. 2 of them are located in Delray Beach, one at Murakami, and the other one at the Southern Region Water Reclamation Facility over on Hagen Ranch Road. And as I said, these towers just take that data they receive from the smart point and transmit it on to our servers. So just a little diagram of what goes on here. In the upper left-hand corner, as you can see, are the actual meters. Those meters transmit information to the towers, and they go into our servers, which is represented by the RNI 3.3.3 on the screen. If you look below the server, the computer there, that information is then put into our, where our staff can see it. The important thing to notice there is the arrow on the left that says alarms. One of the big functions of these new meters is that it will notify us if there is a possible leak. It's a lot quicker notification than what has occurred in the past, and it allows us to catch water that may be leaking in your house or somewhere along the system a lot quicker. The information is also transmitted into our customer billing system, which is the CIS. And one note for the future is in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to have a customer portal where you will actually be able to log in. You'll be able to see your water usage on an hour-by-hour basis, and it'll also give you an alert if there's a possible leak at your house. So just a little update on the project. First off, we started the project in our western region. It was completed in early 2018, and that was all of our connections in Belglade, Pahokee, and South Bay. As far as our eastern region, work began last September. We have a contractor who's Core & Main, and then 2 subcontractors under Core & Main, which is Beppo Solutions and Advanced Utility Services, or AUS. The reason I mention them is this is who you'll actually see coming into your communities. It won't be a Palm Beach County Water Utilities Department employee. It's actually these contractors that are doing the install, They will knock on your door beforehand, let you know that they are going to be changing out the meter at your house. As far as the eastern region, the completion of the project is scheduled for early 2020, so a little over 7, 8, 9 months right in that frame till we're done. We have approximately 160,000 meters that we have to install. These are both 5/8 and 1-inch meters, and as of last Friday, about 65,000 of those had been installed, which is about 40% of the work that has to be completed. Just some quick benefits. There's benefits to both you, the customer, and to water utilities with these meters. First off, billing accuracy. This is one that you'll see show up in just a second when I talk about benefits for the water utility department. It's also a benefit for the customer in that you can be assured of greater billing accuracy. Again, real-time leak detections. Going back to water conservation, it's very important that we find leaks as early as possible. And so these meters will speed up that process. Again, for the customers, right now you can't log into the portal, but there is the ability to call our customer service center and they can give you an hourly update on your water usage. And then, as I've mentioned, the customer portal is coming. With that, it'll help you with water conservation and help lower your water bills. For the water utilities department, first off, it'll aid in tamper detection. Again, real-time leak detection, have more accurate meter readings, and the billing accuracy. And that is it for today. If you have any questions, we do have a couple of our staff from customer service, and both on the customer service side and then on the meter side in the back of the table. They also have what a current meter looks like and what the new meter looks like. Invite you back to see that.
Well, thank you so much. We had a bunch of terrific speakers today, and they're here still for a few minutes. If you have any questions, you can ask them. It was a terrific program today. Remember about our breakfast meeting, and you're all invited, all delegates, alternates, and presidents, and our elected officials and governmental officials. It's going to be an invitation that you're going to be getting probably at the end of the week. You need the gate pass to get into where the venue is. It'll give you the date, time, and all, and it will also be in our newsletter. We're going to continue with the newsletters throughout the summer. You'll get all the updates that from all of these offices and more. Have a terrific summer, and we'll see you at the breakfast.